Hello and welcome to this reading vlog. I don't really have much planned for this reading vlog except for the fact that I wanted to read both The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern and Caraval by Stephanie Garber. The Night Circus came out in like 2012, so it's pretty old, but this one came out in 2017. I have heard that they're very similar and that I've heard like that the Night Circus is better and then also that Caraval is really good. So I kind of just wanted to do like a compare and contrast of the two, see which one I prefer. I mean, they're two separate books, but they're just both based around a magical circus, I think. This one doesn't really have much of a blurb except for the fact that like it says, the circus arrives without warning, no announcements precede it. It is simply there when yesterday it was not. So I think from what I can remember of like hearing other people talking about it, it's that these two people that know each other for years have to fight, and I think it's like only last man standing kind of thing, and then I think they fall in love. That's the gist of that one. And then this one, I have no idea. And then by the time of the blurb, this one, people are fighting for a wish. And that's all I know. I've heard like so much about it, but I haven't heard so much about it. I've heard people talk about it and say it's really good because it's like a bestseller. But other than that, I have no idea what it's about. But I think the concept of a circus that's magical sounds cool. So I'm gonna read these two and then take you along for the ride and share with you what my thoughts are. This one is obviously a lot longer than Caraval. Actually, that could be a lie. Books are deceiving nowadays. 392, 520. Okay, so this is definitely a lot longer. I think I'll be able to do it. Yeah. But anyway, so I'm gonna try and read these within the next week or so. But yeah, so these are my reads. Let's get started. Alrighty, so I'm about to head out to the shops and buy some wool because I've got a pattern for like a sweater vest that's like checkered in black and white that I want to make, but I need wool for it. So I figured I may as well do that while I'm also doing this vlog. And I also may as well update you guys on what I've done so far. I've started reading The Night Circus and I'm 228 pages in. It's all right. It's not my favorite, if I'm honest. Like it's taken me a long time to read it because I'm a bit bored. And I think my problem is that I'm reading it on a night, so I'm falling asleep while I'm reading it, so I'm kind of forgetting the last page and a half that I've read every time. So I have to go back and reread, or if I continue on from where I am, I'm like so confused, and I'm like, what's going on? So anyway, yeah, so far this hasn't been my favorite, which is weird because I've heard that it's a lot better than Caraval, so yeah. Anyway, but that's what I'm doing today, and I figured I'll include it in the vlog because, yeah, right, let's go. Alright, so I've got my wool and my hooks and stuff, and I've started to read my pattern, and I'm already a bit overwhelmed. I've never done it from pattern before. I've always just done it from like a YouTube video. But I'm not gonna let it get the better of me, okay? I know I can do it, and I have confidence in myself that I can do it. I just have to take a step back and not panic and just give up immediately because I have the skills and the capability. But yeah, so I guess let's try and start this monstrosity. I'm feeling hella humbled right now, because I don't know what the hell I'm gonna be doing, but I've read it over and over again, and I'm just gonna have to start. I've got a cheat sheet in this because I don't understand any of the abbreviations, but it doesn't even tell me how many I'm meant to chain first. I'm just gonna assume it's 10. I think I'm gonna chain it and then go into it. I don't think I'm gonna, so I guess, here we go. Just gotta friggin' go for it. 1. I don't have a plastic one, I've only got the bamboo one. I've already lost count. All right, so I did 10. 10 is tiny. I'm gonna chain 10. But they don't tell me how many I'm gonna chain. I feel like how I felt when I was trying to read my chemistry book back in year 11. And you know what I did? I dropped out of chemistry. I don't understand what any of the abbreviations mean. I know it says it's 2 out of 3 stars for a bit tricky. But I mean, I've done things before. I don't understand. And I don't know what I could look up to try and figure out how to do this thing. 13 TR in 10 rows, measure 10 by 10 with a half treble crochet using a 4mm hook or size required to obtain tension. I'm sure that means something to someone, but not to me. Not to me. Okay, so I took a step back and de-stressed because I just stressed myself out for no reason. Found out how many you had to chain. Turns out once you've realized what the gibberish means, it's no longer gibberish. So I found out that it was 11 chains. Anyway, so this is how much I've done so far. And I also didn't realize what part I was doing, and it's like the bottom bit around. So now it's making a lot more sense. So I'm just gonna repeat this until it's 55 centimeters and then just go on from there. I'm a lot less stressed out. I feel a lot less stupid. And I have confidence in myself once again. But yeah, so I can do this. I finished the rib for the back. It doesn't go all the way around. Like I thought maybe this would fit all the way around I don't know, my waist or something, but it doesn't. So I've done this little section. Now I have the rest to do. Alright, so I'm making decent progress, but this has taken me 2.5 Ice Age movies. So it doesn't seem like almost 5 hours worth, but yeah. Night Circus, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought it would take me a week to read these 2 books. It took me 4 months to finish this. I started this in June and finished it in August, if you can do math. So it wasn't my favorite. It was one of those ones that I kind of just got bored whilst reading, and it sent me into a reading slump, and I kind of didn't read much over the past 4 months. Because I would have to like pick up this book and I just didn't want to read it. I I think it's nothing against the book. Like, I read reviews and everyone's like, oh my god, it's so magical, it's so beautiful. And like, I can understand how it's magical. I think I'm very much a romance person and I need a romance to get me through a book sometimes. And the romance didn't start until like over halfway. And when it did, it was a bit boring. And that's just my own opinion. Like, I'm not like crapping on anyone that likes it. You can like the book if you want to, but I personally found it a bit boring. And that's just, it's just it. There was also like, I don't know, it was very anticlimactic as well, because it like sets it up, like the whole thing is like a big test that's going to happen at the end, and it's going to be a big final battle, and the final battle doesn't happen, and like it's kind of like a loophole that every time the final battle, like, okay, spoilers, and it's kind of like a loophole that every time that they do this, the final battle never happens, because they just kind of like fall in love, and they just, and it takes place over 16 years. A book that takes place over 16 years, I think just inherently is going to be long and drawn out and a bit boring. And also, does that mean that Marco was with Isabel for 16 years and never told her that he loved her? Because that's a bit shitty. I don't like a cheating plotline, like, oh, they're meant to be, so he cheats on this girl. I don't like that. I hate cheating plotlines. I instantly don't like the male character, because it's usually the men. I usually don't like the male character if he cheats on his like current girlfriend to be with the one that he wants to be with. I just don't like that. So yeah, I also want to know what they kind of insinuated that twin woman died and was murdered. We never know. Yeah, also a lot of characters that I didn't remember. I kept reading it took me so long to get back into it, so by that point I'd forgotten everyone and what their names were. Didn't really enjoy it. I think I gave it 2 stars. And now, I haven't started Caraval, but I will. I'm kind of hoping this one will be better. On to book 2. Also, I've got to say that in the last clips, I went to like a Lifeline book fest thing where like they hire out the Brisbane Convention Centre and then they fill it full of books and DVDs and like CDs and stuff. And it's like a really big event kind of thing. I went by myself in the city and I don't think I was really feeling it because I literally didn't find a single book and I kind of only spent like an hour there and I didn't really, and I just wasn't really into it. So I was kind of useless. I didn't really do it, like get anything. And also the vest that I started, I think I noticed that the pattern was wrong. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, Millie, you obviously don't understand how to read the pattern. That's what's wrong. And I do kind of agree. So I kind of just gave up on that. But I want to pick it back up but show it to like someone who actually knows how to crochet. Like maybe my mum might be able to help me figure it out when she comes and visits in a few days. So yeah, I did get like half of the vest done, but like doing the front of the vest proved to be tricky. But yeah, so I'll start that up again. So I finished Caraval. I did read it in a day, and I gave it like 3 out of 5 stars. So like the fact that I read this, The Night Circus, in 4 months, and this in a day, really shows which one I think is better. They're not like the same story, so it's not like they can really be compared fully. But I know what kind of circus story I prefer. Like, I did prefer Caraval, but that doesn't mean that I think it's like the best book in the world. Like, I thought it was a good story, but the ending to me, kind of a cop-out. probably, I'm just gonna talk about it, so spoilers for the ending, but just like the fact that it was literally all make-believe and like nothing mattered and there was no consequences to anything or there was no stakes. I was just like, okay, cool. I mean, I get it that sister was trying to save her and her sister from her dad and like had to fake her own death or like actually die or whatever kind of thing. But like, her sister forgave her so quick, and the guy, Julian, Scarlett forgave Julian and her sister so quick, a bit too quick for what happened. She literally watched both of them die in front of her eyes. But because they're alive now, it's fine. It's just like, it's still extremely traumatizing to think that you did just watch two people you love die, and then just find out, oh no, but they're back. And you're like, oh, okay. I think I definitely will continue on with Caraval, the series. I know that the second one apparently is like not as good. But I think on TikTok I saw that like someone was like, if you like don't bother reading Caraval, but just read the Night Circus because the Night Circus is better. I don't agree. I believe that Caraval is probably the better one and easier to read. I don't know if it was because like I was really into the book or like it was just really easy writing to read, or just the fact that I've been reading nonstop and like I finished within like past 3 days I finished 3 books, just because one, I've got nothing to do with nothing to do, and two, just because I'm like in like a reading phase where like I'm just reading constantly, which will probably end soon. But yeah, so I don't know if this is like a testament or just the fact that I'm just reading a lot at the moment. That's gonna be the end of this vlog. I finished The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern and Caraval by Stephanie Garber. But yeah, so that's the end of that. Thanks for watching and hope to see you in the next one, I guess. Bye.